Casino SEO, how to rank in the iGaming industry. It's one of the most competitive markets in the world. I'm joined with Craig, who is a huge iGaming consultant for some of the biggest casinos in the world. So Craig, if someone owns an online casino and they're looking to try to improve rankings, take their business onto another level, more impressions, more clicks, most importantly, more FTDs, how can an online casino try to improve rankings?
I think, the ones that I work with, a lot of them have got high power. They've been a casino for a long, long time. So, they've got their DR 75s, 80s, whatever it's going to be. For me, with any of these, where's the shortfall? Is it the content? Is it the virality? Is it something else? And, I think a lot of these have different pieces of the jigsaw missing. It's obviously trying to establish, do we need to keep building X amount of links or PBNs? That's not hugely important at that point. We're already on page one. And I think virality is obviously been a hot topic for a number of years. But I think we'll all be able to agree that, virality and virality are two different things, depending on who's talking about it. For me, we've all used tools like CTR Booster and various other tools, and the technology that they were built on is now detectable by Google. And I know they've rebuilt it and all that kind of stuff, but you've obviously got proxies and everything else and logged in accounts that you have to have, and Twitter accounts and fake personas and all that kind of stuff. And it's obviously hard to get scale. And I know you do a lot of virality as well, but if it's done right, with all the other kind of dots joined together, it works massively. No one can ever tell me that it doesn't. And it's a lot of these guys think they're doing virality and they're not. You're like, where are you getting this from? And I think we've spoke about it before. Anyone can go out there and shit out propeller ads or whatever. That's not virality. That'll kill you over a longer period of time. So in a lot of cases, adding that into the mix and top of doing canonical abuse and everything else that seems to be working really well. We see a lot of casinos, fucking restaurant websites and all that ranking for stuff. You also see the kind of Trustpilot thing working and stuff like that as well, for brand jacking certain people. So all of these tricks all go into that as well. And a lot of people, believe it or not, I see it. I don't know. I know you do stuff in the iGaming stuff as well. I think a lot of casinos are scared to take risk, and I'm like, I don't think Google care about, because everyone's like a dog in that market. So it's bizarre.
I think on that, if you are a casino operator, what you need to be doing is running multiple lanes. So if you don't want to do something on your branded site, okay, then if you don't want to, then don't, right? Even though you would get away with so much more in the iGaming space than any other marketplace, because everyone else is like a dog, like you said, with the canonicals, the 301s, the subdomain tricks, mass generation of links. Like a lot of them doing like blog roll links and stuff like that. They're doing restaurant kind of expired domains and stuff. Like, it's pretty crazy, some of the stuff of what's being done there. But I want to hit some quick fire questions to you, right? Because in certain markets, it's relatively easy. You don't really need to do too much, right? Parasite SEO. Is this a must for people to do alongside owning their online casino? Should be trying to get multiple, some of them are doing it just for brand protection, for like casino name login, casino name reviews and stuff like that. Is Parasite SEO a must in the casino market?
Absolutely. I think, let's say I owned Craig's Casino and you thought you could brand jack me by using Parasite SEO, you're going to do it. You're going to take some of my traffic. So I think, why wouldn't you? It's crazy not to do it. It's stupid as far as I'm concerned. So, my job is to make sure that you can't quickly just come in and nab some of my traffic. And, like I say, Trustpilot works really well just now, and a lot of people are doing it and getting away with it. So, again, a bit of brand protection doesn't go amiss. And if I can leverage any of the other parasites that are out there that are currently popping, and they change all the time. Then why not? Because I would do the same to you if you were doing it to me. Of course, I'm going to do it back to you.
So then my next question is press releases, right? But specifically for the casino market. So we both know we've done a lot of tests on using press releases in a lot of different markets. And it's brilliant for LLM seeding or manipulating the LLMs, especially like Gemini, Overview, Claude, Perplexity, stuff like that, right? Do you recommend as a casino consultant to do any press releases to get volume of links coming through or to improve reputation and stuff as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And not even just for casino SEO. If you came to me tomorrow and said, Craig, I've got a new gardening business, I would also recommend doing that. I just think it's an important part to do, just to get brand mentions and all that kind of stuff, and trust signals and everything else out of there. And I'm not saying those are massive needle movers or you have to do it, otherwise you're going to fail at casino. Absolutely not. But I think just an important part of the overall mix. Absolutely.
Then the next question then is tier 2 backlinks. So someone comes along, let's say they've got the DR65 site, and you're saying they don't really need too many more links directly to the site, but then you're finding that there's 65 referring domains that do follow links, relevant, decent links, but at a page level, they're not got any referring domains pointing to that. Would you be recommending them to do some tier 2 backlinks to power up that page?
Yeah, and I'd pump traffic at it as well. So I'm going to pump traffic and tier that stuff up as well, just to give it the fuel. It's, for me, when you ask that question, I'm like, why wouldn't you? That's like saying you're going to take protein to help your body recover from the gym. You need fuel for the fire, and if you're not pumping that, then you better believe that the other guys are. And again, it's a no-brainer.
I think that's huge of what you just said there with the virality. So there's so many people out there now that are pushing virality. You mentioned their propeller before, like pop under traffic.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are doing it via the Twitter redirect, the t.co Twitter redirect link. There's one or two other redirect links that work very well as well. But when you consistently keep doing it directly to the money site, you end up triggering nav boost in a negative way, and you end up getting long-term negative rankings. They store the data on nav boost for 13 months. But what they're seeing is the instant boost within the Google leak. So they're seeing an instant boost within 3 or 4 hours, and they're maintaining those instant results from position number 7 to position number 1 for 72 hours. And they're going, this is unbelievable. 72 hours later, they run it again. They go from number 7 to number 1. This is brilliant. They run it again until they keep running it and roll on 6 weeks or roll on 12 weeks. And they've run it that many times that those under 2-second clicks onto the website, because the pop traffic pops up, they exit down, it's a bad user experience, long-term, nav boost, they're dead.
Yeah.
But you just there said about virality to your guest posts or your digital PR campaigns, and it works like a treat, because like you just said there, it's fuel on the fire, which then kind of ignites
you never want
actual backlink.
You never want to put the casino at any risk, so just pumping and dumping their website doesn't make any sense to me. Like, people always say CTR, what page does I send it to? Should it be the homepage or one of the landing pages? And I'm like, who says that's your only 2 options?
Yeah.
What else are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
So again, I've got my own way of doing things. You've got your own way of doing things. I feel like pumping traffic through that stuff, and I think it helps massively. If links are getting traffic and rank for stuff and getting a bit of CTR themselves, then I would automatically assume that Google are passing more value to it than getting a guest post on a website that ranks for fuck all. So for me, it's just trying to power everything up, and it's the same as you taking protein after the gym. You're trying to recover, you're trying to feed your body with the nutrients it needs to repair that muscle. And for me, it's the exact same thing. You're just giving protein to everything that you've got there, not just the guy at the top. So
I've got a couple of other ones. So semantic SEO. It's a big topic in the SEO community. Some online casinos are saying, do I need to build topical authority? Do I need to pay someone to do a semantic content network and map out all the different pages of what needs to be done? So you could have, like, within the casino space, is that all the different slot games, the names of all the different slot games, and there's thousands of them. would you be recommending building out every single one of them, or would you try to select the ones that maybe only get search volume? Or what's your thoughts on topical authority in the casino space?
I think it's obviously going to be always debated. You see restaurant websites can rank easily. I think it's different for that, but obviously going in to do that in every single slot game, that not going to bring you money. Why would you? So definitely implement it in the ones that do search volume or pages that they create traffic. And even if Google just now arguably don't give too much of a toss about it in that niche, they will at some point. So for me, I would rather implement it. And you might say, Craig, I only got a 3% increase in implementing that. When an update comes out, in 6 months' time, and you see a massive jump up because there's more weight placed on that or whatever, because obviously Google are always dialing stuff up and down, and CTR or traffic signals is maybe at 32% just now, and it might dial down to 27%, and they give something else a bit more. So I'm always kind of thinking ahead as well. Like, is it the right thing to do? Is it something that, there's two sides of that argument there where people say Google clearly don't give a fuck about topical authority when all those fucking food restaurants and everything are ranking for shit. And I get that argument, but for me, they will have to start giving a shit at some point. So I would rather have it in place.
I think what I love about it as well, though, with regard to the topical authority, it's other places you can build links directly to or do some of the viability through to those pages, so internal linking to your main money pages. Yeah. So from that point of view, it could be decent as well. But the last one is technical SEO. Mm-hmm. There's certain people that go out and I'm an expert, casino SEO expert, and they go and run a report and it's just a screaming frog audit or something like that, or looking at the core web vitals. Now, I get crawlability is important, removing any 404s and that Google can crawl a site efficiently. I'm going to go into the core web vitals part to start with, and then I'll move on to the internal links. How important is technical SEO for casino SEO or some of these people that are branding it? Like, is it the number one ranking factor? Like, what's your thoughts on the technical side?
I wouldn't say it's the number one ranking factor. When you're dealing with an operator, a lot of the speeds and structure and the setup that they've got, we can't really do much about. It's not a fucking shitty old HTML or WordPress website. There's so much else going on in the background that it's just not possible to go and implement things that you'd want. And the casino I'm currently working with, we are getting a whole new system. It's like 10 years old. The current platform that it's on, and it's going to be rebuilt. We know it's slow and sluggish. We know it could be better. We know that the bigger casinos have got better, and we need to develop that side of it. Now, is it the be-all and end-all of rankings? It's not. We're still up there performing, but we are aware that it's kind of sluggish and it's not a great user experience. And even some of the landing pages, the way they're laid out, they're not. We're probably in the lower end of the conversion rate, which I think is probably the case for a lot of casinos anyway. We're at the lower end, but we think that having a better platform where we've got more ability to be creative and do things is going to work in our favour. But I really don't see technical being that big, because we are all constrained in that space by a lot of things that we can't control. So yeah, I don't think it's hugely important. I wouldn't be going out paying 20 grand for an audit or anything for a casino. We know there's certain things that we can and can't do, and that's just the nature of that game.
Yeah, for sure. I think the next question then rolls on to, what about schema for online casinos? Is that an important SEO strategy, or is it not really?
Again, it's one of those ones where it's going to come down to the cost of implementing that and what pages you implement that on. I've never been a huge fan of schema. I just think, is it going to give you that much more? Arguably, yes, now in the AI era, it's something you want to do to help the LLMs and everything understand your website. But I was always like, nah, I can't be asked. It's just a lot of work and not a lot of rewards. But I think probably, going forward with LLMs and everything else, we have to be thinking forward, and absolutely considering it even more so now than maybe, you know, in the past 5 years or whatever. Everyone's been talking about schema. I don't think it was as important. So I'd definitely be implementing it now, that's for sure.
And then what about internal links for online casinos? Is that an important SEO strategy?
Yeah. I mean,
so with regards to that, is there anything you're looking at? Are you looking at like click depth, like page click depth, how many clicks away from the homepage you're looking at? Or are you trying to look at server logs, you know, this part of the site's not getting enough crawlability, we maybe need some more internal or even external links coming into it to then start siloing it throughout the site?
I mean, obviously the casino I work with, they're not huge or don't want to go down the route of sportsbook too much anymore. They know the slots and everything else is where the big bucks is at. So again, there is a lot to these casino websites, even, you know, game specific stuff and all that kind of stuff that you can bet on. I think internal link is a great thing. You want to pass power to as many of the good quality relevant pages that you possibly can that are there forevermore and stuff. But there's just certain pages you just don't focus on. So again, one of those things. I think internal linking, whether it's in iGaming or not, it's a great way to keep, you know, your website in the index and pass power around to other pages and all that stuff. So I think it is hugely important. But like, you know, some of these games, there's literally hundreds of slots. There's hundreds of this, hundreds of that, hundreds of sportsbook. You'll be there all fucking day.
Yeah.
And do you want to sit there and go and really go hard at it? And you've only got, again, that 80-20 rule, 20% of your pages bring in 80% of the traffic. So again, implement that stuff on the stuff that makes money and double down on that. And you know, like I say, the casino that I work with are like going, don't do too much in the sportsbook. We want to focus more on the other shit. So
yeah, I think what I love about your casino SEO advice is just do all the things, like just do everything and get the 1% little wins across the whole board. Because the biggest key takeaway for me in this is that don't just worry about what's working today. Mm-hmm. There could be an algorithm next week which improves adding schema, so do it. They could add in internal links. You need to be 2 clicks away from the homepage as a minimum. There could be that it improves CTR more, or it could downgrade certain bits. And I think just doing everything I asked you was like, yeah, it's important. Yeah, it's important. And it's like everything is, I mean, some are more important than others and stuff like that. But what I love about the casino advice and what you give is that it's like do all things holistically, and it will compound. And I think that's key.
But every time I get a casino coming to me to talk to me, they're just looking for those small things. What are these motherfuckers doing that we're not? Is it the canonical abuse? Is it this? Is it that? Is it the schema? And sometimes that's the difference between success and failure in that space. So again, for me, I want to make sure that we're ticking all the boxes, because all of them are going, keep hearing everyone talking about virality. We don't do that shit. And you're like, you're fucking missing a trick. And that might be the only piece of the jigsaw you're missing. You've got your schema, you've got everything else. You can go, fuck me, you know, add that in and boom, you know, it goes up another notch. And like, you know, that going up a couple of slots can be the difference between 10 million, 20 million in revenue for them per year. So it is always those small things, because most casinos have been around for many years, and a lot of that stuff's probably implemented anyway. They've tried everything, and they're just missing out on the kind of canonical stuff or any kind of funny stuff. So
yeah, for sure. So if you are an online casino operator and you've liked the video here talking about SEO advice, then leave a comment in the comment section. Is there any questions you might have with regards to DMCA takedowns or any other negative SEO attacks that you might be getting? Obviously, there's a lot more that we can talk about with regards to casino SEO advice. Craig, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Cheers.